Aston Villa set a new club record of an extraordinary 15 home league wins in a row with a 1-0 triumph over Arsenal in the West Midlands. A few days on from putting Manchester City to the sword at Villa Park, Unai Emery had the last laugh against the club who gave him the boot 4 years ago, as John McGinn struck early and the Lions absorbed copious amounts of pressure from the Gunners, who created numerous chances but were bereft of a finishing touch all evening. As the suspended Mikel Arteta took his place in the director's box, standing coach Albert Stuvenberg had his head in his hands just 6 minutes into the contest, as Gabriel Martinelli's in-swinging cross to the back post picked out the run of Bukayo Saka, who evaded an asleep Lucas Digne, but he just could not connect with the Brazilian's delivery on the stretch. Let's go around the punditry world to hear what the experts are saying about how Arsenal fell short at Villa Park.
Matchday Live, where we have just seen Aston Villa beat Arsenal by 1-0, and I am delighted to say that we are joined live at Villa Park by their captain, John McGinn. Hello, John. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you hear me, John?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, brilliant stuff. Look, it's lovely to have you with us on the show. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations,
Okay.
Manchester City and Arsenal within the space of 4 days.
Thank you.
Can't hear us,
I don't know if he's hearing us, but he definitely did when we were having a little bit of a rehearsal. John, can you hear me all right there? I don't think he can hear me. Do you know what? We're going to try and get him back. That's a shame. Hopefully we'll get him back because they have beaten Manchester City and Arsenal in the space of 4 days, and it would be great to get his thoughts on that, wouldn't it, Shay?
Yeah, I think we actually had a brief chat.
We did. We had a little chat, didn't we?
And he said, we asked him, actually, Tony mentioned about, the defensive setup at Aston Villa and how much they work on it, and he did mention it's drilled into them day in, day out, and lots of meetings, lots of things. But again, as I said before the break, it's quite refreshing, especially from my goalkeeping point of view, and a centre-half sitting next to me, is to see a team enjoy defending a defensive block, a defensive unit, and there's not much space between any lines, And John McGinn, you would say, is more an offensive player and obviously got an all-important goal today. But at the same time, he has to buy into that defensive setup that the manager wants.
And that is credit to the manager once again. Everyone was saying Unai Emery is a master in Europe, which he is, given his record, but he's mastering the Premier League as well this season.
He also said he was bored doing it. He said all summer I've been working on it, all pre-season. It's so boring to be defence. And and also said, are you going to win the league, John? And he said, yeah, they're going to.
Well, we could make up anything, can't we? Well, unfortunately, we can't get John McGinn back, but we are going to hear it now from Arsenal's Martin Odegaard.
Well, you really fought hard right until the end, but where do you think you've come up short this evening?
I think in front of the goals. I think we had enough chances to win the game, and yeah, I felt like they didn't create anything apart from the goals. So yeah, definitely in front of the goals. I think that's where we lost it.
I suppose quite uncharacteristic for you not be able to finish those chances. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I don't know. It happens sometimes, but it's frustrating. Of course, I had a few myself, so that's annoying. But the only thing you can do is keep going and bounce back in the next one. So that's what we're going to do now.
As well as that frustration, is there a sense of injustice at all with any of the decisions around some close calls in that second half, the penalty shout and right towards the end there, the Havertz handball?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen them again, so I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was a goal in the end, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't want to say too much either.
Given the way you grew into the game, when you look at the goal that you conceded, is there some frustration around that?
Yeah, I think we gave them an easy goal, but after that, I think we controlled most of the game. As I said, we created enough chances to win the game, and I think we didn't deserve to lose the game, but that's football, and we have to learn from the mistakes, and we have to improve and bounce back.
So disappointment there for the Arsenal captain, Martin Odegaard. And as you can see, John McGinn is back with us. Sorry, we lost you there, John, for a moment. We couldn't hear you. But as I was saying, congratulations, Manchester City and Arsenal within the space of 4 days. What is going on? You guys are on the most phenomenal run.
It's a bit strange, I'm not going to lie. But just our home form at the minute's just been exceptional. So we went into the game today with no fear. The last team to beat us here were Arsenal last year, so we had a little bit of revenge, an opportunity for revenge today, and thankfully we managed to take it. It wasn't as fluent a performance as it was a Wednesday night, but we showed huge character and grit, and I think we stood tall today. A lot of the players who haven't played many minutes, Leander Dendoncker, Alex Moreno, they really came on, and Jacob and showed real fight and desire to get us over the line, and thankfully we managed to get a clean sheet.
Look, you set a new club record of the 15 home wins on the spin, which has been mentioned so many times, so congratulations for that. But you're also having the best goal-scoring season of your career in the Premier League. What's made the difference?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a bit more composure. The chance today, it was actually really ironic. I had the exact same opportunity in a Europa Conference League game. I'm watching it now. Leon cut it across, and I've actually tried to lay it off. But the staff do a lot of analysis, and they said if that happens again, turn on your right foot and shoot quickly with your left. So thankfully they picked that up, and it paid dividends today. So the manager said I need to get involved more in goals, and I promised him 10 this season. Hopefully I can get more than that. Fingers crossed.
John, I was going to ask you, we spoke before the break about the defensive shape, and I know you have to do your own defensive work as well. But that goal is a classic example. Does the manager give his freedom then to go whenever you break and from a sort of defensive block?
Aye, well, he's done a lot of, especially when I'm on the left-hand side, he's done a lot of work on me, kind of covering the front post, not only to get those balls, but to create space for Ollie in the middle of the goal. There was a chance the other night, I've made the same run, and Ollie was free in the middle of the goal, so we work a lot on that. Sometimes we only attack against four, especially against attack with four, against the best teams. Sometimes Douglas can get involved, but the best teams in the league can pick you off from these attacks. So it's about being secure at the back, but having the licence to fire into the box. And thankfully, he gives us wide players the permission to do that, and it's paying off.
Well, John, congratulations once again. Thank you very much for joining us, and well done. Looking at the league table, I know the Villa fans are very happy indeed.
Cal, I know you'll be disappointed with the results. What did you make of the performance out there from your players?
Yeah, a really good performance. I thought we were the better team, and we didn't deserve to lose the game at all, but this is football.
You were taking in the game from a different angle today, up in the director's box. The two close calls in the second half. Firstly, what was deemed a Havertz handball. What was your take?
I prefer not to comment.
Is that the same with the Gabriel Jesus potential penalty shout?
I think that's even clearer.
I sense perhaps you have an opinion, but you're cautious not to say anything.
I do. Big opinion, yes.
Okay. You said you're pleased with your side's performance today. With the perseverance that they had, why don't you think you've been able to find the goals like you have previously?
Because you have to put the ball in the net, and that's the only thing that we missed today, because we generated some big chances. We were getting the ball really high up. Villa didn't create anything, but still lost the game.
Could that be down to fatigue, if you had to put your finger on why you weren't so clinical?
No, because I think that is fatigue. It doesn't press, it doesn't go, it doesn't insist, it doesn't dominate the game like we did today. It's impossible.
How much credit should go to Aston Villa? You know, we spoke about them being in the title race before this game. How much of a threat are they to your title race?
Yeah, they are really good sides, and they are in a good moment right now, and congratulate them. That's what we have to do.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Times. Do they have what it takes to maintain this momentum? I'm not saying necessarily to win the title, but to maintain this level.
Yeah, I think it'll be squad rotation, but I love Torres. They've got a great goalkeeper and a great spine. You know, so that's the makings of a team. You know, same as the Arsenal, to be honest with you. You know, they've got a good goalkeeping issue. We've got to sort that out. But Declan Rice has come into the screen and really come into the team and really made us tight and solid. If you win a 4 championships, you said, thank you for saying that.
That's all right.
But we've always had screening players, you know, back to the Paul Davis when I first come in, and then, you know, we had people like Patrick Vieira and Manu Petit, and then during the Invincibles, it was Gilberto, you know, the invisible screen. They're brilliant players.
Absolutely brilliant players. And, you know, there's so much to pick out of this fixture that we've just seen, and we will do so. But first of all, let's just have a quick recap of what we have seen today in the Premier League, and what a Saturday it has been. Well, Liverpool left it late. They came from behind to beat Crystal Palace by 2-1. Brighton and Burnley shared the goals and the points at the Amex Stadium. Manchester United, how damaging a defeat is this 3-0 defeat at the hands of Bournemouth? The first time Bournemouth have won a game at Old Trafford. Sheffield United under Chris Wilder back in the dugout beat Brentford by 1-0. Wolves and Nottingham Forest shared the goals and shared the points, and Aston Villa, well, there's confirmation of their stunning win, a huge win at that, over Arsenal. And there are some big games to come tomorrow. Everton and Fulham off the back of some really big wins midweek. They play Chelsea and West Ham respectively. Luton against Manchester City off the back of their defeat. Good luck, Luton. And then Tottenham play Newcastle in the late game. Wow. What a weekend it's been so far. Let's have a quick look at the Premier League table, shall we? Here is the bottom half. And Bournemouth are the big movers, really. They've moved up a couple of places after their victory over Manchester United. But as you can see, it's Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United that occupy those bottom 3 places. If we take you to the top, well, Liverpool find themselves at the summit. And the last time they were top of the tree was May 2022. So there you go. Only 1 point clear of Arsenal. Aston Villa just behind them. It's very tight indeed. And Manchester City completing that top 4, although they have to play, of course, tomorrow against Luton. 3 points to go, 2 points off top of the table. And at the start of the season, I don't think anyone would have predicted this run.
No, but I suppose you could go all the way back to when Unai Emery got the job. I think they were in the relegation dogfight, weren't they?
I think they were 16th, actually, in the table.
I think he only added 1 addition last season, and they've shot right up the table and finished in the European places. So we shouldn't probably be surprised or shocked. Yeah. Maybe we are a little, but you know, he's added to that in the summer. And again, the performance tonight, I know Tony's going to look at the defensive sort of setup of Aston Villa, how well drilled, how well organised they are. It's been absolutely brilliant to watch, because I know we say the Premier League is the best league in the world, and I actually believe that, and we see lots of high-scoring games, don't we? But sometimes, especially this man sitting next to me, to win a game 1-0 is a big thing as well, because it doesn't happen by magic. It happens by hours and hours on the training pitch and being well drilled, and you've got to give that to the manager.
Absolutely.
No, I love the performance. I think it's hard for me to say all this stuff. You know? I'm sitting
okay,
at
Tony,
Arsenal wanting to Arsenal to win 3-4-0, you know, but I've got to take my hat off. I thought it was an exceptional performance, defensive performance from Aston Villa, and I don't think they've got the squad to go on and win the league. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going for a really great period where they've all hit form. They all believe in the methods of the manager, and he's got in there and he's worked hard. I know he's very thorough with his group of players, and pre-season he would have drilled them really well, and it's coming out in results like this. And once you get on a bit of confidence, then you actually are, you know, it works in your favour. But I don't think they'll go all the way. They haven't got the strength.
You say they haven't got the strength, but we still have January around the corner. If they were to dip into their pockets and bring in some reinforcements, sign some players, could the story be different?
Everything seems under the radar at Villa, which probably Unai Emery doesn't mind, and even the owners perhaps, because they've got 2 billionaire owners as well. We shouldn't forget that. And if they feel that they've got a chance of winning the Premier League, they might not get a better chance. They go, well, if Unai Emery wants back in the January window, why not? Give him a few quid. You never know.
You never quite know. You never quite know. So talk to us about where you think it went wrong from Arsenal's perspective today.
Well, where it went wrong was how Villa played, I think. How defensively they played really well. I think because, like I said previously, Zinchenko is a very great positive thing for us, but he can be a complete weakness. But this is highlighting the square in the middle that Villa play with the back 4. You know, fantastic line, and there's an offside again for you. You know, all the damage is done. They've held a fantastic line. If there's pressure on the ball, you're able to hold the line. Another offside, game over. You know what I mean? It's like, actually, if you've got pressure on the ball and that square midfield, then you put no pressure on the ball. This one's a little bit more riskier. They're still holding a great line. They got a bit lucky on this one. But it's still, the general principle is of holding a very high line, but you only do it, let me tell you, if you've got pressure on the ball. That one they got a bit lucky with. This is brilliant. This one is brilliant. Absolutely rock solid line. No way through for Arsenal. So in it comes and out of play. I think we've got another one here. Oh, this is the last kick of the game. Kick of the game, holding it out the box defensively from the Villa.
And it's quite fitting to finish on the conductor, because he's the man who's done that, the organised shape, the way they've been set up, and he's been absolutely brilliant. And again, I say, it is quite refreshing to look at a team defensively. And what's he changed? Well, they have brought goals to the party, but what he has brought, he's brought steel and metal and a defensive unit that's very, very difficult to break down.
Yeah, and look at how often, they're catching sides offside.
75 caught offside. The stats don't lie, don't they?
They do not lie, do they? And I guess we have to put it all down to Unai Emery. I mean, credit to him.
Boring Villa, isn't it? I'm getting my hand up already. I'm like that. I'm like, come on, offside. Brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you,
I'm so excited.
A moment that the fans would not have found boring, well, the Aston Villa fans at least, was in the 7th minute. John McGinn's goal. I mean, how good was this goal, first of all,
well, we
Shay?
spoke about it, Seam, at half-time. Again, you see him in the middle of the picture, number 7 there, and he's just sort of, no one really gets close to him at any stage. That's great play by Bailey. We know how quick Bailey is, 1v1. He's difficult. Rice gets pulled out of position right at the death there, but, you know, it's a great touch and finish by John McGinn. Absolutely brilliant. You see the space he has. At no point there's any engagement. And Tony mentioned he's quite narrow, so it's difficult for Ben White to go all the way in maybe and pick him up. But how many times have we seen McGinn get into the box? Now, Rice does see him, so I'm not saying he doesn't see him, but then he gets sucked towards the ball. If Rice holds the ground, maybe he might be able to get some sort of block on the cross, perhaps, you know, but take nothing away from this finish. And this is a very early start. You know, Emery's come out. This come out the blocks fast, which they did at Villa Park, got the nose in front, and with that defensive block we just looked at as well, were too difficult to break down today.
And to go ahead early is quite a statement as well, isn't it, Tony?
He's a clever player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very clever player. Takes up some really, really great positions, and I don't think Arsenal ever got to grips with that square. You know, Declan Rice didn't really know what one of the two players, the two offensive midfielders, to actually play. You know, you've got a situation here where he's running in the box. Actually, he's taking 3 players with him. You know, he's taking 3 players in there. And he's just peeled off one. White's struggling, Ben's struggling to get over there, and it's a great finish. Yeah, that's just a really clever position to take up. And he's just put it away.
Wow. Penny, for Arteta's thoughts there from the stands?
I wonder what has you know, Arteta been up there in the stand, like, because as I said before, he's always animated on the touchline. He's always, like, you know, making orders, pulling people around the pitch.
Would you feed off of that energy as a player?
I think you do, and I think you're used to it as well. You have it every single week, and then that voice is not there anymore. You know, he's up in the stand, and yes, he's radio mic to the guys on the touchline, but at the same time, it definitely has an influence, I think, on your team. And again, I suppose it's his own wrongdoing. He got booked, I think, was it against, because when Wright scored the winner during the week, and I suppose that's emotion as well. He got excited after such a late winner, but I think his team might have missed him today.
Maybe so. Well, late on in the game, there was a Havertz handball, late in the, 80th minute, 89th minute?
Yeah. This is, you know, the neutral in me kind of says, accept the referee's decision and let's move on. The Arsenal fan in me says, there's a cash handball in there, it's a penalty.
That came first,
there's all sorts of things happening. I'm waiting for it to be a goal or overruled by VAR. But like I say, the neutral in me, referee's decision is give the free kick, get on with the game. Get on with the game.
We actually thought history would be repeating itself, didn't we? Because Arsenal like to score late on and they hold the record for that in the league. They did find the back of the net, but it was ruled off.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right decision. I really do. I think Stephanie had Havertz's hand at some point in that move. The referee's on-field decision was to give a free kick, and then VR got involved, checked it, and I think, as Tony says, it's not a clear and obvious error. I think it's the right decision. The right decision was come to in the end. OK, it's time for a quick break, after which we'll head back to Villa Park and welcome back to Matchday Live, where Aston Villa have the edge at half-time. And I must say, they did well to withstand that late pressure from Arsenal, didn't they? But look, we're going to look at the goal to begin with and analyse it from 2 angles, the good from Villa and the bad from Arsenal. So let's start with how Aston Villa got it so right in the 7th minute as well, early on. Yeah, it's a brilliant start. We talked how big the game was beforehand, and this is... You know, Unai Emery couldn't ask for a better start. It's brilliant 1-2 touch football from Aston Villa. I think it's Bailey into Tielemans as he knocks it wide. We know now Bailey's so fast, 1v1, and we look at the replay why Rice come across and what have you. But John McGinn obviously is the goal scorer. It's his 4th Premier League goal this season. You see the space he picks up in the middle of the park there, and no one actually gets close to him from an Arsenal point of view at any stage. Now Rice has a look here, sees it, he knows he's arriving, so he knows he's there. Look, has one more last look, but now Rice gets sucked towards the ball. McGinn's free and he's 8 yards out, Seema, on his strong left foot. It's a brilliant finish, and it's a perfect start really from Aston Villa and Villa Park. You know, the roof nearly comes off. It's such a great start. Reminding us once again that Villa Park is a fortress. But Tony, I know we were watching this together in the green room, and you could pick out a number of players at fault for that goal. Tell us who they were and why. Well, Zinchenko in possession of the ball can be such a strength, and he pops inside. I think we were laughing off air, to be honest with you. Everyone's playing left back other than Zinchenko. And there's a massive channel, you know, that's vacated by him playing inside all the time. And then Villa's doing very well. And McGinn's playing very narrow. And if they had just switched, if Saliba's job there is to switch and take the runner, because Ben White's always finding it hard to recover. You'll see him now. Ben White's really struggling. All Saliba needed to do is go, my man, I'll take the runner, and it would have been completely nullified.
You know, absolutely. Just a bit of communication. Saliba just needed to take the runner, said Ben White take him. They didn't pick up how narrow McGinn was playing.
And that said, though, with Arsenal, we've seen many times this season that they tend to come back and score late goals. So Villa can't rest on this. 1-0 is not a safe scoreline by any means. And
the shot at the end of it, the Arteta up in the stands, not forget as well how big an influence was that in his Arsenal team today.
Do you think it has influenced
Well, I think it will have an influence because normally you see Arteta, especially, he's one of the most animated managers we have on the touchline. He's up and down, nearly kicking every ball. So that definitely brings a presence to the Arsenal thing. But Arsenal did, as you said at the start there, come really strong into the the lateral part of the second half and had some very good chances.
They did have some very good chances, and if they continue from that, I mean, Villa have to be careful in that second half.
Yeah, Villa are holding a high line and it's creating a few chances for the Arsenal. And, you know, I thought Odegaard should have given him the eyes here and put it in the other corner. Great chance, great chance. Jesus was exceptional in the week against Luton, and he's had another chance there. The goalkeeper's made some good saves.
Yeah, Martinez has been
really
brilliant.
Decent save, right?
Really good. I mean, he's been voted the best goalkeeper in world football not so long ago. And
one from the corner as well, was it?
Yeah, let's not forget he used to be on the Arsenal books as well, and there's so much confusion over the Arsenal goalkeeping situation. But Martinez had a great half. You know, everything he's done brilliant. And that Odegaard one, I think Andy mentioned in comms, he sort of guessed a little bit. If he hadn't have guessed, then he probably wouldn't have saved it, but it's still a very, very good save.
Who is the best goalkeeper, in your opinion? Would it be Rare or would it be...
Ramsdale.
Well, that clears that up.